I change your bum life. You fight me, it's a celebration.
I would beat you.
When you sign to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby. Conor McGregor made us rich. Break out the red panties.
Let's get it all!
Yo, welcome back to the fifth round. As always, your boy Stephen Moustaris, and it looks like little Gracie back there on the bed, so greatest co-host of all time. But seriously, first thing I want to talk about today is just the fight announcement. I mean, it's not official yet, but I mean, if you guys follow up with it as much as I do, like, it's all over the place, all over Twitter. I mean, you can see on Instagram, all over Google or whatever, search engine you look at. But Rafael Fiziev and Justin Gaethje are pretty close to being done with finalized a fight. And boy, does that get me excited. Like, I remember the first time I saw it a couple of days ago, I'm sitting there like, ooh, don't be playing with me right now. Like, this is that one. Like, don't get me wrong. I know Gaethje's lost 2 of his last 3, and if we're being true to him, he lost to Khabib, gets the win against Chandler, and then goes out and loses to Oliveira in May last year, which that fight with Oliveira was nuts. I mean, Charles was on that run there for a little bit until he ran into Islam, so I mean, I don't want to hold that too much against him, but the first thing that sticks out for me is that Rafael Fiziev, for me, is one of my favorite up-and-coming fighters right now. If you guys watch my videos, I'm a big Muay Thai guy. I love Muay Thai. It's the only, I train that. I love that, and, clearly, if you know Rafael Fiziev, that man, I remember him becoming, real famous early before he came to the UFC. One of his kickboxing fights, he did that, Matrix move where he dodged the head kick, literally bent all the way backwards, and then I know he's pulled it off in the UFC, and he's just an all-around amazing stand-up fighter, and so is Justin Gaethje. So, first thing that sticks out is, just Justin Gaethje has fought these types of styles before, and it always works out in his way. Now, don't get me wrong, if you give him the style of, an Eddie Alvarez, a Dustin Poirier type, or even, the Michael Chandler fight, which I know he won, but, if you guys that type of style where it's more like a brawler, more of a boxer, filthy, dirty boxing, clinch work, will threaten the takedown, but it's mostly striking, but it's more MMA striking, and that's Gaethje's. It's going to be a tough fight regardless, especially when you got chins like them guys. But when you got the stick and move type fighters, the kickboxing type fighters like the James Vick, the Edson Barbosa, those styles for him right there. Gaethje's got that crazy pace and just puts it on you and doesn't give you any room to throw your kicks. And I mean, we saw him starch James Vick, we saw him starch Edson Barbosa, even Donald Cerrone I think was his next fight after that, which Donald Cerrone's more of a kickboxing type. And yeah, I think right now all of the eggs are in Gaethje's basket currently. It's really what Gaethje we get. I know the kid's 34, about to be 35 years old, and I know for his career and what we've seen out of him, he's definitely getting long in the tooth, that's for sure. He hasn't slowed down at all, and if anything, he's throwing on more impressive performances. So, I think this is definitely a fight for Gaethje that it's his time to win for sure. If he comes to, and it's Justin Gaethje that we're used to, I think he's going to probably outwork Fiziev. But then you look at Fiziev, though. Fiziev's only 29, about to be 30 this year, still young, hasn't had as much damage as Gaethje. And I mean, Jesus, if we're looking at Fiziev's wins too, as much as I love the guy and I hype him, you are kind of sitting there, you kind of question some of the wins. You're sitting there okay, Bobby Green, Bobby Green's amazing and everything, but we just saw Bobby Green get slapped by Drew Dober. You saw him get slapped by Dustin Poirier earlier in his career. You see Bobby Green, especially grappling. The Islam fight wasn't even a fight, but Bobby Green's that. I'm trying to be respectful here because no disrespect at all, and it's he might be that middle of the road type guy in the UFC, but in any gym he's the king of the he's the alpha male probably in most gyms. He just loses to the top 10 guys in the division. So it's that fight, okay, Renato Moicano, I know he's coming into his own right now, and dude's been very impressive, but at the time that Fiziev fought him, Renato, we've seen him lose a couple times, kind of lost that fire that he had ever since they threw him in there against Jose Aldo too quickly. I mean, the Brad Riddell fight was impressive at the time, but if you go back and look now, Brad Riddell's on a 3-fight losing streak now, and you could probably say it's because of Fiziev's spinning kick that was fucking nasty that finished him. So, there are those, but then of course, then you had the RDA fight, which for me, I was really nervous for that fight because RDA, although I don't think RDA is ever going to contend for a title ever again, like RDA's, I was saying it the other day, like I have a video I'll probably post up here, or it's already posted, but I mean I'll probably put up on this video. It was talking about RDA, about how like he's probably like, if I had to give him, you know, a comparison to the NBA, like you could probably, I mean, he won championships. You could say this is, you know, it's Tim Duncan almost. Like, he's just Mr. Fundamentals. Like, he's not going to blow you away with everything. Like, one certain thing that he does, like his boxing's not going to blow you away. His kicking's not going to blow you away. His elbows, his clinch work aren't going to blow you away. His takedowns aren't going to blow you away. His control time's not going to blow you away. But it's so fundamental, and he's so good at all different aspects. Like, he's a true, like, legend of MMA. He's like a true mixed martial artist. And that's one thing I've always respected RDA for. Even though I'm not the biggest RDA fan, I won't lie to you. Like, I feel bad for the guy, because I think he probably would have beat the fuck out of Conor back in the day. And he would have had all the hype from Conor. And who knows what would have happened with RDA's career. But, of course, he goes out, gets destroyed by Eddie Alvarez. Then Conor beats the fuck out of Eddie. But still, for Fiziev to go through a brutal fight against RDA, and for him to finish RDA in the 5th round, shows you, like, okay, like, RDA's pace and pressure is up there with a Justin Gaethje. Like, maybe not stand-up wise, where he's going to catch you as strong as Gaethje will, because Gaethje's got that one-punch power that'll put you out. But RDA's he'll catch you all the time, and he'd probably be a little more annoying to fight. Like, at least with Gaethje, you know, all right, if I fuck around with one punch, he's put me out. Like, RDA is like, okay, I'm not even fucking around here, but this dude's hitting me with 7, 8 different punch combos, attacking the legs, throwing elbows, throwing kicks, throwing knees. Like, the dude is very good. So for Fiziev to kind of get through that one and everything, this is why I'm really excited for this fight now. Like, yeah, I definitely think it's all on Gaethje, like what Gaethje comes in. Now, if this is a Gaethje who's just a little too old, maybe because he's been out, 7-8 months now. It's like, what if, you never know what could happen. And he even said himself, some of them punches he took against Charles in his last fight, he said it was the hardest he's ever been hit. He's never felt punches. Like, I remember him literally saying this, like, in the interview, like, post-fight. So he's never felt a punch that he's felt through his, like, tongue, and, like, he's felt through his entire body, and that's the way he got hit. So we know all the time, like, these fighters, they lose a piece of themselves in every single one of these fights. And I know it was only a 1-round fight, but you go back and watch that fight, man. And I know most of us don't even have to rewatch it right now to remember how crazy of a fucking 3-minute, 4-minute fight that was. But, man, absolutely fucking bananas. And, yeah, I want to see Fiziev win, probably, just because, I love Gaethje and everything. It's just, we get to this point in MMA, and it's sad. It's kind of like that old dog you kind of have to let go and stuff. And luckily Gracie's young over there, so I'm not feeling like a dick saying that. But it's like, you want to see them up-and-comers kind of like, okay, we've seen Gaethje have so many chances now. Like, okay, do we want to see it again? Like, unless he's fighting, I would love to see him in this. Like, he's in that new picture now where it's like the money fights they're calling it now, or the prize fighting now for the UFC. Like, that's probably where he's at now. Like, I'd love to see the Michael Chandler fight for him again. I'd watch him fight Dustin Poirier again. Clearly have him watch, or I'd watch him fight Conor. I'd watch him fight anybody at 170. Like, he's got that power now, and that name power that's like, doesn't have to be for a title anymore. Like, so I think Fiziev, it's going to do more for Fiziev to win. And if Gaethje wins this one, it's like, okay, you beat you beat an up-and-comer guy. You're probably supposed to. And I know it's a tough fight regardless, but yeah, I don't know. I think this has Fight of the Year written all over it. I'm just fucking mad excited for this. And boy, if Fiziev wins this one, boys, watch out, because don't get me wrong, I know Islam's takedown is ridiculous. I know he's still got to get through Volkanovski, because I think that Volkanovski fight's going to be pretty tough for Islam. Just not because of the skills and everything. I think it's literally just because Volkanovski's just how short he is and the different angles that he can maybe come at. So I know it's a long shot, and Islam might not even be a champion. That's how crazy MMA is. But Fiziev wins this fight, and then say he's got to fight one more like a Chandler, which I don't think he should, honestly, but like a Chandler or Dustin or something like that. Or even like a Beneil, something like that. Like, man, I'm telling you, watch the fuck out, because that dude's got the takedown defense. He's got the power. He's got the stand up. So I think very highly of him, and clearly, I use him in the MMA, in the UFC game all the time. So on PlayStation. So yeah, I'm kind of in love with the dude, but no homo. But seriously, I'm fucking excited for this fight. This is one of them ones. It's like, you're already, the last couple of weeks that we've had away from the UFC and MMA. It's like, you're missing it for sure. But then these are the fight announcements that you're just like, wow, okay, this is it. This is what wakes me up right here. This is one of them fights. It's like, it's going to be Fight of the Year for sure, or at least a candidate. So And of course, I say this now, we watch the fight, one punch knockout within 10 seconds, or it's a snooze fest or something. Like, you never know, but it's the lovely thing about this sport. But as always, your boy Stephen Moustaris here at the 5th round, and everybody have a good one.